So imagine going to prison with half your teeth missing. And on top of that, with wires poking out and blood every day. Sucks, right? Yeah, it does. So I wanted to make this video real quickly just for me and as a reminder. I'm sitting in a dentist's office in the beautiful Encino, North Cali in the Valley, LA. And I'm waiting on getting a temporary prosthesis remolded to put back in a permanent one. About 12 years now, it's been over 20 surgeries, gum reduction, jaw re-breaking on both sides, wires, plates, multiple fractures on all these teeth and all these teeth, and just waiting on getting this half back. And I was out one night. I was actually on house arrest. I was permission to be at an opera for a music class in college. And I was a club promoter before I got locked up for this. Had a lot of people that didn't like me and a lot of people that did. And after the opera, I went to a bar, had drinks with my current girlfriend, and at the end of the night at the bar, I ended up being picked up and thrown into a concrete sidewalk, face first, bit it, and slid on it. The people involved claimed that I fell onto the concrete sidewalk and bit it and had sustained all these injuries due to that. It was crazy. Every lawyer and judge and cop and prosecutor and attorney and everybody involved kind of made me out to be the criminal in it. Nobody saw it as a victim. They saw it as I wasn't supposed to be there, and I was drinking, and I ended up in the ground somehow. Yeah, basically I had to somehow walk back to my brother's truck who picked me up with blood leaking out of my mouth, coming all the way down to my suit, pouring everywhere, pouring like he drives a Ford Excursion, and the seat was this thick, full of blood. It was crazy. Anyway, I had multiple community fractures. They had to rebuild my entire jaw, and that was just the first surgery. There was, like I said, 20 after that. The prosecutors in the area would not press charges against the guys that were involved in it. 2 or 3 of them. They stated to my father that your son is a convict and he wasn't supposed to be there, so we're not pressing criminal charges. My father decided to press civil charges. He set it out of court. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the long-term effects of this. It's 10 plus years later, and I can't talk properly. For 2 years in prison and going through it, my tongue would hang out of my mouth while I would talk, and it would bleed, and I would smell nasty because it would bleed all the time. Finally, when I made it to a work release, when I made it to a work release camp, or a low custody camp in the Alabama State Prison System, a wire popped straight up out of the mouth, out of the mesh that was in there at the bottom. And they took about 4 hours and finally got me to a hospital for emergency surgery. Still, a year after that, I had no teeth. I can't feel anything on this side of my face still. And 12 years later, I still don't have a permanent solution in my mouth. 12 years and 700 grand, 600 or 700,000 US dollars. Some of it paid with insurance, a lot of it paid in cash. And none of that, not a bit of it, compares to the mental and spiritual trauma and pain that you go through with it. I spent 6 to 9 months of my life in a bed with wires, not being able to eat, on the worst pain medications, which I now have addictive tendency towards. And I've had to take those same medicines after each one of those 20 surgeries and deal with the withdrawal, the coming off of it, the detox, multiple times again and again. I recently was reading that case law and paperwork, and every lawyer, every judge involved in it looked down on me. And now, where I'm at in my life, I have, charges, facing things, successful business, loving family, good friends around the world, and, I live quite a great life. But with alcohol and addiction and things like that, I've put myself in situations where I've been hit with tire irons, tossed on the ground, shot at, stabbed, everything. And what's funny is I've never actually hurt another person physically. I've been in some fights, mostly defending myself. One time, in front of my friend Chris, I stuck this guy in his face at a bar because I thought he was going to hit me. And that was part of the mental stuff after this. I was scared to get hit first. I used to never have the balls or the heart to hit anybody first unless I was defending myself, and I never would. But after this, I definitely was scared of being hit first. Not mean I'm scared to fight or scared to get hit, but if I got hit right here hard enough, I didn't know what would happen. And it's funny, like, when I go to the courts and the places and the criminal cases, like, to this day, they still look at me as the violent one. In a court case in Kansas recently, I was sitting in somebody's car. They told me I could sit in their car inside, smoke a cigarette. When I was still smoking, sat there, and they came out, grabbed a tire iron that you use to undo lug nuts on a tire, and hit me across the nose and the face with it. Chipped my tooth, broke my nose. And I was charged with battery, charged and convicted because I didn't have time to keep going to court again and again when they weren't even listening to me or watching the videos. This is video evidence on it. The video literally showed the tire iron in the person's hand and on the ground, and me being chased around with my hands up trying to defend myself. Crazy. Because, I was already stunned. I had already been hit in the face with iron. It's wild that I didn't get knocked out, but I didn't. Anyway, said all that to say, like, I think our system is just totally messed up from the ground up, and I think that there's no way to fix it unless you overhaul at the very bottom. Like, from speeding tickets, there should be no leeway for the law to play any game besides the laws that are set, and the laws that aren't right should be rewritten and made proper. By the time someone's murdered or raped or in court for pedophilia, murder, assault, bodily assault and harm, you've already created another victim. Someone else is hurt. You have to stop this stuff at the very beginnings, and there's a lot more than just the justice system that needs to change, or culture, or people. The freedoms we worked so hard for are just being used for the worst possible things now in so many areas. Anyway, my voice changed for 2 years on top of my tongue sliding out and not feeling my face. Because it's funny, you can't talk the same way when you don't have teeth on one side. Thank God I made it through it, and all you can see is one scar right here, and I'll be getting my permanent teeth back shortly. But it's been a hell of a journey. That during that time I graduated from college, went in and out of prison. I saw a woman take her own life and marry a different woman and started a business. And last year, around this time, October, the bone they took out of my head, I don't know if you can see it, there's a scar on the top of my head where they took the bone out. The bone failed, and they had to put more bone in, re-break my jaw again, for the third time, I think. And once again, it put me on a spiral: pain medicine, depression, uncontrollable emotion, and then coming off that, everything was times 10. I don't know, that's just the story. I don't think I even left out too many details. Some of the worst parts were the people around me at that time, and listening and watching their depositions about how, they were convinced that I fell, or I might have been the bad person. Like, to me, it just equates to, like, compassion. Like, and if someone gets hurt, they got hurt. If someone hurts somebody, they hurt somebody. Even if someone, and you see it on TikTok and everything online all the time now, people are fighting and this and that, and someone takes it upon themselves to knock somebody out or hit them with some kind of object because they said words. I didn't even say like those kind of words, but if I did, if that was the case, is that what someone deserves? Like multiple fractures, no teeth, 6 months on pain meds, 6 months in the hospital, a mental and emotional state that would lead them to me, which is not an excuse to hurt others. And once again, I've never physically hurt anybody, but someone walking around with that much pain and trauma, it's gonna hurt. Like they say, hurt people hurt people. And I guess at the end of the video, the more important point is for those of us who have been through these traumas and these pains and these lifestyles of abuse and torture, getting sent away, getting kidnapped, getting hogtied and restrained at 11, 12 years old, getting made to fight at 14, going through the same programs again at 17, even more physically violent, and then living a life of prison and streets and guns and knives, and getting stabbed and shot at and broken this body part, broken that body part, getting physically abused by police for random stops. It's most important for us to really dive in, get the help, get the coaching, get the lifestyle, do the inner work, get quiet, get to meditation, get to yoga, get to breath work, get to wellness. Otherwise, you'll just end up in prison forever, in a hospital forever, or dead, obviously forever. So that's something I'm trying to offer now. I'm trying to help people with. I don't think I'm going to charge anybody right now. I'm just going to take the people that really need it, the worst cases. And if that's who you are, then reach out to me. Call me. We can do it online or we can do it in person, wherever I am. But it has to start with day one, with you wanting something different, with you wanting that pain out of you, with you wanting a new life, with you deciding that no matter what happened to you, enough is enough, and you don't want to use that to be a victim and to live in your past anymore, that you want to go somewhere else. And if you're looking to do that, I'm the person that can help you because I did it myself. I didn't do it myself totally. I did it with coaches and therapies and journals and programs and retreats over and over again for the last 8 years. And it's helped. And I'm nowhere near perfect. Nowhere near perfect. But it's helped. And I'm getting better and things are getting better. So hopefully I get my teeth back in the next hour or two. And I can talk again and smile again just like me. Because those 2 years in prison, before and after prison, not having teeth, walking around, not being able to eat things, not being able to chew things, not being able to speak properly, my tongue always salvating because of the one side, no teeth, blood always there, medicine, pain medicine, surgery after surgery while I'm going to the probation office to piss in a cup and going back and forth to jail and prison. It's hell, man. It sucks. It sucks for anybody. So before you get to a point like this or somewhere else, call me, hit me up, let's talk, let me help you.